everybody, and welcome to the North Coast Podcast, where we, North Coast, interview a special guest and turn our conversations into improvised songs. All the beats you hear are provided by Dr. Brick. Those are coming from his mouth, folks. He's our beatboxer. I am Mel.
I'm Adam.
I am Doug.
And on today's episode, we are so excited to have our friend in the studio, Lilla Crawford. You know her from Disney's Into the Woods. You know her from Annie 2012, the revival of Annie on Broadway, the original revival of Annie. She's an all-around amazing performer and singer and actress and Gen Zer. Right? Are you Gen Z?
I am.
Anyway, welcome Lilla Crawford.
She just basked in the glow of that.
I know.
I am.
Welcome, Lilla.
Welcome, Lilla.
Thank you.
We
Thank
had
you
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
We had to have you. Lilla joined us for our Anybody show, which is like our improvised Hamilton show, like a month ago, and we were like, we love her. Like, we just have to have her on the podcast. We want to have her involved in all the things.
It was so fun.
It was so fun.
It was.
You
'Cause
played Shirley Temple.
I did. It was it was perfect.
Yeah.
You all. Every time I tell people I did that show, like I always have to mention that, like when somebody shouted that out, and then you were like, all right, we're gonna go with Shirley Temple. Like in unison, all of you turned to me on the stage like this and looked at me like that. Like basically,
Yeah.
like you have to play
Yeah.
her.
Oh my God. Did you feel the call? Did you feel like the hero's call in that moment?
I would call it that, yeah.
Yeah.
I would call it a hero's call.
The hero's
yeah.
call.
I would call it a hero's call. No, I mean, I don't know. It just makes the most sense
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
well, also it's funny because I was a child actor, but then also I'm the youngest and the shortest
Yeah.
on the stage. So it's just like, it worked. It worked out.
There was a point where it came down to it was either going to be you or me. Like Shirley Temple.
absolutely. It was-
For podcast listeners, she's a little bit shorter. But yeah.
That's
I'm a
hilarious.
tall black guy.
Yeah. Do you find yourself getting caught in that a lot? Because I feel like as somebody who was a child actor and like was always kind of put into these roles, is that how it is in your personal life too? Like, are you the youngest in your family? Are you the youngest in a friend group? Like, are you always placed in like Lilla will just play the younger one? Or,
Actually, because I have a younger sister,
Okay.
so I'm not the
Nice.
youngest in the family, and I'm also like the second oldest cousin. I have a ton of cousins, and
Wow.
Okay, that's
I'm
nice.
on the older side of cousins. But no, I was just because actually this theme came up when we were doing the show,
Yeah.
and I said something about it in a way that was like meant to be funny, but it is like something that I've thought about a lot about like being a child actor is like being like all child actors are mini adults, or they just have like a aura to them that's very like I guess precocious would be the right word because they're this tiny child body, but like always like very well spoken. Like you have to like to be a good child actor, like you have to be really good with working with adults because oftentimes if you're the only kid in something like in Into the Woods, it was only me and the actor that played Jack were the only kids in it.
Right.
So like nobody's gonna like. Well, I don't even know if I should say that, but I, it's honestly, it's been almost a decade,
Yeah.
so I think it's fine, and like it's kind of common knowledge, but I was not the original pick. Are you guys ready?
Spicy.
This
Wow,
is great.
okay.
We
You
have-
don't Reddit.
No, I mean it's. No, I was not the original choice for the role. Another person was cast.
Fucking Dakota fucking no.
I know. Okay, they stole my role. No. And so another person was cast before me and was let go. I think the main reason being just that, like, she was too young. And, like, I don't know if it's necessarily that, like, she was actually too young, because I don't know if we're the same age. The girl that they cast might have been younger than me, but, like, the feedback was just like her vibe was like her aura was too young, and like I was like the most successful actors. Like actually, speaking of Dakota Fanning,
Yeah.
do you, like I watched this recently. Like she I think won like a Critics' Choice Award for like best young actress, and her speech. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have
Yes.
you seen it?
was
The
like a
speech-
40-year-old
adult.
politician. Like she knows.
Right.
Yeah.
She like, and also like Jacob Tremblay also when he won that award was giving like, I would just like to thank the producers of A24.
God.
Like it's so like, and he's like a 10-year-old. So I think like that I felt cool. That's the one thing you guys are gonna learn at me. I can't keep on track. I go a million different directions in one conversation. So back to the question about feeling like the youngest all the time. Like it feels cool to be like, oh wow, like all these adults like respect me and like I can hold a conversation with them. Like but like, and the flip side, it would get tough when like things would happen that were very of my age, or maybe I would do something or say something that was like, oh, this is a literal 11-year-old, and then because I was so good at being an adult and people being like wait a minute, you're 11. Like there were just moments where like people expected me to be adult, and maybe when I couldn't live up to that, like because there was higher expectations. But then like I look back at those moments and I'm like, what did people expect? Like I was literally in Annie, I was 11 years old, and then I turned 12 in it. But then even in the Broadway show that I was in before, I was 11. I was 10.
Oh my god! What show were you in before?
Billy Elliott.
Oh.
Billy Elliott. I know.
God.
I think I
love
might
that
have
show.
seen you in
So
that
cute.
then.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I
might
saw
have too.
Billy Elliott. Yeah.
Wait, what year though?
I
'Cause
was
only-
like 16 at the time, or.
But do you know what year you saw? Because I wasn't in the original cast.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
saw 05 or 06.
Oh yeah, no. I
I saw
was
it later. I saw it like 09.
It's like a family
2010.
trip. Yeah.
Late.
I started like being a part of the show like in late 09 because that's when I started rehearsals.
Okay.
My first performance was in 2010.
I might have seen
That
that.
was the closing cast. Really?
I'm gonna go through my playbills tonight.
Oh
and I'm gonna
my
and
God.
I will send you a picture and be like,
then-
spot
That
it.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. So, but that like in that show, there's a ton of kids.
Yeah.
I think there was like 20 something kids in that a part of that cast. It was a huge.
Wow.
And do they let you do 4 shows a week or 3 shows? Like because there's like rules, right?
I know, no. I mean, you would think in the UK there are really strict West End child labor laws, and so like shows like Billy Elliott and Matilda and when I was there I saw Willy Wonka, which was like or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which also had a cast of kids. There's like 3 sets of children for the roles. And they like only do 2 or 3 shows a week, and then they switch off.
And then they're in like
Also-
school and like plucking
and they
flowers.
also all live in a house together. Is that crazy?
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
They-
cool.
that's
Wow.
never been a thing
The
in
real
the U.S.
world, Broadway
No, for real.
edition, the real world,
Yeah.
Broadway edition, the real world, Broadway edition, the real world, Broadway edition. Okay, you got the ladies and you got all of the fellas. You got 12 Glindas and 15 Elphubas. They're all hanging out in their Airbnb, and they're like, you can come to Broadway and see me, or see me, or see me. We're all living together. We're inside of the Airbnb, protected from the weather, cause we're indoors. That's how indoors works. Now back to the shows we're all in when we all work. Real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition.
12 kids in a mansion, that's a whole damn lot. Does every single one get an equity cot? Because you know that is in my contract. We're all very dramatic. We all like to act. 4 kids doing their warm-ups. 3 kids doing their glow-ups. 2 kids doing IG Live. And 1 is reviewing their lines.
Real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition. It's the real world, Broadway edition.
Oh yes, you have many acting professionals, but it's time for one of them to go to confessional. Yeah. And in the end, they said, hey, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win $1 million. That's what it's gonna be, so I'm gonna holler. Yeah. So here's how the vote goes. I'm gonna vote a little off the show.
The Big Brother, Broadway edition. Big Brother.
The traitors.
Oh yeah, the traitors. Broadway edition. The actors. Broadway edition.
I do this too. My
Yeah.
Okay. It's the real world, Broadway edition. Oh, I am so very smitten by those cute little kids all living in a house. Oh my God! Look, there's a mouse. Go catch the mouse traps. Get the stickers. Catch those mice, 'cause that is icky. A bunch of kids living in a house with mice. That is not very
It
nice.
sounds like Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Broadway edition. Brooklyn. Broadway edition. Brooklyn.
Improv edition. Brooklyn
strangers picked to live in a house.
Oh, it's only 7.
Sing.
I think it's only 7.
The look on your face when you
You're like,
realize that
I
we
know.
also jump into song during this podcast.
I knew that part, but I thought it was gonna be more like a okay, and now we're gonna do a song, but then it just started.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I like that.
That was great though. I love
Yeah,
it.
we do very little prep with the guest. I feel like Lilla walked in, took her bag off, sat down, and we said, and record.
Yes. We talked
That
about
is-
2 things. We talked about seltzer,
Yeah.
marijuana,
Oh, yeah.
and then we hit record.
And also he said, whoa, save that for the podcast.
And Marcel the Shell.
And Marcel the Shell. Oh, yeah, and we all
Oh,
did our
yeah.
impressions of Marcel the Shell.
Zero prep, though.
Zero prep. Yeah, I was saying that I have the same feelings on carbonated beverage that I do on marijuana, which is that I will never buy them for myself, but if offered, I'll say okay.
It's such a funny thing to make an equivalency of, too. It's like one just is a beverage that's like hydrating and sweet, and one is like a full-blown.
I do the same thing with cats, birds, and children on 2-wheeled things, where like I don't like all 3 of them because they're all unpredictable and you can't predict their movements. So like I
Wait,
feel the
a
same.
bird on wheels?
No, I feel like I have the same feel. Okay, bear with me.
Wait, it was cats?
Yeah, cats, birds, and like children on scooters. I have the same feeling about like I
get
dislike them
you.
all equally for the same reason, and that's that I can't predict their movements.
Got it.
Yeah.
I definitely like had the wrong headcanon.
Yeah.
It was scooter children rather than a child with just like 2 wheels on it. Like,
That was, you know what, I blame myself for that one. I wasn't very
Thank
clear.
you.
Yeah, no, I was
blame
thinking
you.
about birds and cats on wheels, so
But-
I had to
which
do
is
the
also
opposite, yeah.
fun.
That's also great.
Yeah, like those better.
You know how much my mom like was in love with you, right?
What?
You
Oh,
remember-
me.
yeah,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
I totally
My
forgot
mom-
about that. Yeah.
My mom, like, I mean, she was like, well, you were great too, daughter, but then she was like, the beatboxer.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I just couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. Like, I could have just seen him perform forever. Like, was just talking about it.
Aw.
And then when I was like, well, he's right there. I mean, she loves you. Loves you. She thinks you're the most talented person like she's ever seen.
Oh, thank
Aw.
you, thank you. That means a lot because I love seeing that like initial reaction. I know I like being that first like experience for a lot of
Yeah.
like people seeing a beatboxer live. It's like wow.
Yeah.
it's like wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, it was off.
No, it's only for me.
It's only for me.
Yeah, we're just making
You can
weird
hand her the
sounds.
mic for a
I just
second.
thought-
What?
No, oh, okay. I was gonna.
Oh, no. It's
Hand her the
okay.
mic.
well, if we, yeah, I mean,
If
I
it'll
don't wanna
impress her mom,
inconvenience
hand
you.
her the mic.
You want the mic?
Pass the mic. All right, here you go.
That's amazing. Oh,
That's all we needed. Your mom's an icon, by the way. I
Yes.
feel like she needs a
Icon.
TV show.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
With
amazing.
you, like we followed you around. Yeah.
People have like that is weird lore. Is that like on like 3 separate occasions people have been like, you should have a reality show, and every single time I was like, no, that sounds
Yeah.
like the scariest thing on the world to me to have like a family reality show. But like as I got older, I was like, no, we would have been really entertaining. I would be great on reality TV. Like I
Yep.
don't know if I'm gonna go that route because I like acting. Like I want to be like acting an actor, and I don't
Yeah.
know if like those 2 worlds would like collide well.
They absolutely do.
Do they?
I think so.
Okay,
my
like
head
that.
that
Sometimes
works,
I'm
yeah.
like, maybe
Yeah.
it would help like promote because like things. Okay, like The Traitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me on The Traitors.
Yeah.
I would love to be on The Traitors.
Such a
you
good
heard
show.
it here first. Such a good show.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this backstage because I was like, could you do it? Could you be a traitor? And you were like, I think I could.
I think
right.
I could. Yeah. I
I
think I could
would
lie to
love
people's
it.
faces.
Oh my god,
I'd be
I don't,
really bad.
I'd be
really
terrible. I think
bad.
I'd be a really bad traitor.
Me too.
I'd be so
I
good
think it'd be
at
really
it.
bad. But I love like murder mystery, like Clue, like the board game Clue
Yeah.
is one of my favorite board games ever. So I think I would love being a faithful because Peter, did you watch like season 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Peter.
Spoilers for season 2 of
Oh,
Traitors.
I won't. This is all I'll say if you haven't seen it yet, but you guys should. I'm looking at the cameras like they're our audience. Is that a thing? Do you
Yeah,
guys ignore
we'll
the
post it.
cameras
No,
or do
no,
you look
post
into
it,
them?
yeah.
I mean, I don't really look
No,
into.
I mean, I know. I
forget, but
keep
yeah.
looking, like
But
I keep like I'm on
That's
television.
because you're meant for
I keep-
reality
yeah,
TV.
That's true. No, exactly.
Yeah.
But exactly, there's proof. No, but no, Peter of season 2 killed it.
Yeah.
Like, just season 1, at least of the U.S. version, the traitors are just kind of going with the flow, and they're like, but Peter was like, we're finding those traitors.
Is this Pilot Pete from The Bachelor?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I didn't watch The Traitors, but I do watch a
no,
lot
like
of The
he
Bachelor.
was like detective.
Yeah.
Like
I heard he was
really
great.
Yeah, it was
great.
good.
And
Yeah.
so I watched him and I was like, oh, that's the game that I would want to play. Is I would like really try hard to find them. But being a traitor, I think I would suck. But going
You think you'd be like, tea?
I'm
like,
a terrible liar.
Yeah,
No, I literally
breakfast.
would. Yeah. But what about what
That'd
makes
be my
you think?
strategy, yeah.
I just think
Right.
I'm a good liar. Like, I think improv
Yeah.
has made me really good at saying psycho things with a straight face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, who is it? Like, this is getting really stressful.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it would be me.
I mean, watching Suri of the first season,
Oh,
I think
Like pathological
Yeah.
chaos.
what
yeah.
an icon.
I know that made me think like, oh, so there's a way to do it without like totally having to like be mean to people or like to because the second season the traitors are brutal.
Yeah.
I won't say. I mean, I guess spoilers. We won't say
spoilers.
more, but they're
Yeah.
pretty brutal.
Spoilers. They're brutal.
They're brutal.
We're in spoiler land. But all I'll
Yeah.
say is like, yeah, I think that it takes a certain personality to be that manipulative, and like I think I could pull it off. But I do think that the moment at the end of season 1 when people were sobbing because they realized Suri had been lying to them the whole time, that'd be hard on me. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't sleep well for a couple months
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Does anybody watch The Circle?
Yeah.
No.
Listen, I watch all these shows.
I know. I do too. I was like an original Circle fan. Like I was the one
Oh,
for
from the
season
UK?
1. Oh, for season what?
Oh, I was for the UK.
Oh yeah, they do have a
Yeah.
UK version. No, that's I guess
But,
that's
yeah.
not. I guess I'm not that OG, but like season 1.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Wow,
no,
outed.
season 1. I'm out. Season 1, I was like begging everyone. But then I stopped at season 3. But
Okay.
I heard that this past season was really good, so
It
maybe I
was
should.
it was really good, but it's a similar thing of like. I think where Doug was saying he would struggle after like not be able to sleep. Like if I could go on any reality show like that, a competition, I feel like it would be The Circle because I'd be like that would just seem so fun.
Right,
But
I would
I'd
love to be in The
struggle
Circle.
to be like, wait, people are like talking about me behind my back, or they think that I'm this when I'm like really not that. Like
Oh really?
I don't think I
would
can
think that was
handle
funny.
it. Ugh.
I think I would. Well, I think actually
I could
The
do it.
Circle might be a good choice for me because
Okay.
I would just be like lean into the character of it. Of like, oh, this is a performance. Like I'm gonna
Yes.
play a character, and like whatever these people say is like not. I mean, I know some people go in
Yeah.
as themselves, but
Yeah.
I think it's so much more fun to go in as a character.
Oh,
And
what
I would just like method
character would be
acting.
like your ideal character to go in as?
Oh my god.
What would be your character?
Character. What would be your character? Character. What would be your character? Character. What would be your character in The Circle?
I think my character would be something that not a tree. I don't think it would be a bee. But it might be me.
Ooh.
That's all I got.
So you would come into the circle not feeling absurd. You'd play a heightened version of Lilla Crawford.
Crawford.
You'd be like a Y act, a little on the side. Then you'd hone in on them and take them for a fucking ride. What would be your character?
Character. What would be your character? Character. What would be your character? Character. What would be your character? Character.
If I were to go in, I would be the lying one. I would pretend to be Neil deGrasse Tyson. I just wanna be a guy that knows about space, and I'd pretend to be like I had a mustache on my face, and I would tell you that you're wrong and that I am so smart. And if you wanna fight with me, then oh yeah, I will start. Cause Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't take any shit. It is the role in which you must absolutely commit. Yeah.
What would be your character?
Star
Character. What would be your character?
Galaxies and
Character.
nebulas.
What would be your character? Character. What would be your character?
Circle.
Oh, well, I think between me and Molly, you have the right fan. Yes, me and my girlfriend would go in as a white straight man. We would be playfish, catfishing everyone, and we would be like, we're just two ladies having a little fun. We would float with all the ladies. We would flirt with all the fellas. We would flirt with everybody until they all were jealous of how likable we were. We'd be voted to the top. We would be influencer, baby, and then we'd win it all. Oh, what would be your character? We've talked about this.
Character, yeah.
What would be your character? Character. What would be your character? Character. What would be your the circle? Send message. message.
Yeah. I wrote a sketch in I wrote a sketch about the circle when I was in college. I was on a sketch team for like that first part of my college years. And I wrote a sketch about the circle that it was so funny, but the feedback was like, if people haven't seen the circle, it's not gonna make sense. So like we shouldn't put it in the show. But it was that like after the circle, the cast was doing a press conference and they couldn't stop talking like how they so like at the press conference they were like,
so good.
Message. I am happy. ... Question mark.
Hashtag happiness.
Hashtag happiness. Send. Like they always say it's so funny.
Thumbs up emoji, sunglasses emoji, palm tree emoji.
No, like yeah. It was
I'm always so
that,
impressed that they never seem to proofread or like they never think twice about what they're saying. I feel like I would type a whole thing out and then I'd be like, okay, let me read. No, let's change that. And they're always just like, send. And I'm like,
how I actually text
Yeah.
if I was on the circle, would be like, no, delete that.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Put
could
an
be
apostrophe.
edit
like-
that out. Yeah, but
It
no,
could be edited.
that's a fun show. Speaking of, should we talk about how we met or how I?
oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
It is amazing.
The people out here, I wish I could.
To the people at home.
The people at home, I wish I could rap and rhyme like a pro, like you guys. I mean, that's the thing. I have been doing improv since like 2016. Well, besides like theater camp improv, I've been doing like actual comedy improv since like 2015. And so I feel really confident in improv, but adding the rap is a whole new level that I wish I want to get better at because it's so cool how fast you guys are able to rhyme.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, for real.
Thank you.
It's a skill. Not
thanks.
all improv teams can do this. They cannot for the people at home.
Oh gosh, thanks.
Not everyone
But-
can be this underwhelming.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Lilla. Well, you are an absolutely fire improviser. And when you sat in and you played Shirley Temple, you made some moves that had me dying on stage, almost
really?
breaking SNL style.
Really?
Like where they like lose it. Yeah, like when
There
we were
was-
the Pope and Shirley Temple. And you were
so
like,
good.
I'm learning Italian. And you were like, you just kept adding an A to everything. And it was
Right.
very funny.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it was so fun.
That was such a fun bit. And then how you came back in this Bank in the Sky.
Oh, yeah. The Pope was
Oh,
in the
the
sky.
bank in the
The
sky.
bank in
I
the
forgot
sky.
about that.
But
Yeah.
it is a good
Banger.
story how Lilla and I got connected
Let's
as
hear it.
friends. So Lilla reached out because Lilla ran the college improv group I founded
At
Oh.
NYU.
at NYU.
Yeah. You guys, did you not know that?
No.
No, sincere actual reaction. I just
Wow.
Yeah, I actually didn't know
Yeah.
that.
No, seriously.
So she reached out and she was like, "Hey, like, this is weird, but like, did you found Pasadena Golf Club?"
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
"Yeah," in many moons ago.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh my God, we've all been trying to find who created the group."
Yeah.
Oh.
Because that makes me so sad because apparently you reached out like a couple years ago and
did, yeah.
they didn't, but my era, but for real, my era, because the people you reached out to, I don't think I was ever on a team with because it was like, whatever you reach out, like.
Yeah, it was
20
like 2016 or 17.
Okay, so then that was like way before my time. But our era was always like, because we always wanted to find out the origin of the name, which now we know is just, there's not really, it's just funny.
I just thought it sounded fun.
No,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun. But
Classic.
I
Never
don't-
meet your heroes, though. Let's disappoint you.
I was at McSorley's
Yes.
and I,
Oh my God, McSorley's.
I know.
No, that
What
just there's a.
happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? Is that what it's called? Golf Club.
Yeah.
What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? A golf club. I wanna know. I wanna know. It's still the chorus. I wanna know.
Okay.
I
the chorus.
wanna know. Still the chorus. I wanna
Still
know
the
what
chorus.
happens at the Pasadena Golf Club. A golf club.
What happens at the golf club? I'm sure you'd like to know. A little Arnold Palmer, iced tea and the lemon, yo. I wanna do that putt. I wanna tap that but I can't, no, cause we're just doing an improv show. I just wanna say yes and
Yes, and
put that putter in my hand.
My hand.
We're in northern Los Angeles, and it's time to be filled with improv flair.
What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? Golf Club. What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? Golf wanna know.
Oh yeah, the chorus.
I wanna know.
Still this chorus.
What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? Golf Club.
What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club stays at the Pasadena Golf Club. Yeah, that's right. We do some weird shit. We do some scary shit at the Pasadena Golf Club. You might be wondering what it is, and guess what? If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, no.
So
Tell me anyway.
you'll never know what happens at the Pasadena Golf Club. Yeah, you never know what happens at the Pasadena Golf Club.
At the Pasadena Golf Club. Golf Club.
You'll never know
what happens at the Pasadena Golf Club. Golf Club. I wanna know.
In this chorus.
I wanna know.
Oh yeah, chorus.
I wanna know.
Chorus.
I wanna know.
Chorus.
What happens at the Pasadena Golf Club? Golf Club. Do your golf thing. What happens? What happens? What happens?
This is the ending.
This is the end.
Oh my god.
I just wanted to give it more life for your, because it's a bummer if there was really no story behind it. You
No,
know?
I genuinely.
Just wanted to give
I'm
it.
gonna send that to the entire
have to send
team.
it to
Like
the
they're
crew.
gonna be so happy to
They're
hear
so
that.
active. Like every time it pops
Yeah.
up in my feed, I'm like, gulp.
No,
Like,
for real.
Yeah, it makes me emotional.
No, we did well because this made my day when you were like, that was my dream as a college student. But we are the first NYU improv team to ever win CITs.
So cool.
Wait,
What
Which
are
is the
CITs?
college improv
The
tournament.
college improv
Oh,
tournament.
wow.
It's so.
That was gonna be my guess.
What happens at the college improv tournament?
This is the end.
And you conquered that. So that's so cool.
That's awesome.
That was the best. Like the person that I ran the team with, Alec. Shout out to Alec Berry. He's
Shout out.
shout out.
One
One of the funniest improvisers. He's so good, so talented. So we ran the team together because we were both freshmen at the same. We were new to the team together. We were on that team our whole 4 years of school, and we ran it together. It was the best
Wow.
story ever. And
That's
still to
so
the,
cool.
right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Such a huge part, like for real.
Picking
it's,
up the slack when one person's like,
No,
you know.
I just like. I think it's an amazing thing what you did. You don't realize the impact you have by having created that team because it was such a huge part of like my college experience. People who do comedy at NYU, it's basically all we have to write home about. You know what one of our running jokes was? This is another team member. I don't take credit for this joke. He told this joke to me, and it's hilarious. Is that we basically paid like $200,000 to do improv.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it felt like.
That's basically what improv is.
The
Yeah.
fact
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's that
I mean,
meaningful
basically,
to you is so meaningful to me because I did not get on Danger Box, and I was like, "There's
I didn't
no
either.
reason for a school with 40,000 kids to have one improv
Yeah.
team." And even Danger Box was like, "Please start an improv team."
Oh, really?
And then I got deep into the bylaws of the NYU club system, and Danger Box was a structure where they were only allowed to have a certain amount of people. I started instead an umbrella organization.
Right. And there's other teams that are in that umbrella organization. Were
Yeah.
you at school with Bowen Yang when he was on Danger Box?
Yeah, I was on Pop Roulette with Bowen and Matt, and they were both on. Well, Bowen was on Danger Box, Matt was on Hammer Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt directed Hammer Cats.
Yeah,
and
I was
so,
on Hammer. That was the sketch team I was on.
Oh, okay,
I was on
yeah.
Hammer Cats, yeah.
So, and there were many people who did both, and then I sort of missed the boat with auditioning for Hammer Cats. I was so obsessed with improv, like I was like very one-track mind improviser, and then I got more heavily into sketch and did UCB sketch later on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so that's
but-
how we met.
That's
that
awesome.
is how we met. And it was a fun, but that the day of winning the New York regional, because the finals were on Zoom because it was during COVID, which was so
bummer.
sad. I mean, it was a bummer. But the New York regionals was at they're demolishing it. It was UCB, and then it was the Asylum under the grocery
It's
store.
demolished.
It's-
Yeah.
It's
It's
already
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
gone.
Yeah.
I haven't
Well,
shopped
that's
there.
where we did our New York regionals, and like that day and winning that was literally one of the best days of my life. One of the best
So
nights of me and
special.
Alex life, like till
Oh
this
my
day.
God.
Like it was
Champions.
so fun. It was the best night ever. I mean, I don't know. Improv is so like, it's my favorite. It's just
Yeah.
because I think like it. I just live performing is always going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm these days starting to find love again for singing in musicals, which I love, but for a minute I think I like needed a breather from it, and I think also I was just like it was so hard. Like being an Annie was a lot of work, and it was just like a lot of it was, I don't know, it was crazy. So I think I like for a minute was like, I don't want to do that ever again, and then found improv and being like, oh, I can still, you know, be a live performer, but I just fell in love with it. I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm glad that it's helped you find the passion again. Was the stress of Annie in contrast to Into the Woods, which did you feel the camera there? Like, did you feel like you had to play things much smaller, or were you like still as like free to play to the back of the house?
No, they definitely, and for some shots the camera was like right up in your face, and like I feel like on at least one occasion, like Rob was like, you don't have to, you're not playing in the back of the house here. Like the camera's right there. You don't have to. And so I learned that lesson doing that movie, that it is a little different, but also like I would beg to differ. It's not, because Broadway these days, it's so trendy to be like real. You know, like I was literally just talking to my friend about this, who was also on Broadway as a kid, that musicals look so different today than they did like in the 30s, 40s.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Could you imagine if like Rodgers and Hammerstein like saw Next to Normal? Like they'd be like, like, you know what I mean? Like it's so like that.
Come from away, they'd be like, what is that?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's so I feel like I definitely feel like the best example is when I saw Jessie Mueller in Waitress.
Yeah.
Like she gave such a like indie movie performance, even though it was like a musical, that I was like, oh, this is we're moving away from like, but they still revive those shows and stuff. So they still like, I didn't see Spamalot, but I know like that they were just reviving like.
But
I saw
Spamalot
the
was
Hello
not
Dolly revival.
old. It was from the 90s.
No, it's not old, but that's like a
2000s.
camp.
Things from the 90s
But it's
are
That's a
old.
big camp. That's I meant I didn't mean like. Spamalot's from the 40s. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
From the 1940s. No, I think I just because there's so much new stuff out right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so much new stuff, and like like the what's out right now that like
Outsiders,
so much.
Illinois.
The Notebook.
that's what I was thinking of, the Soufflon.
Soufflon, yeah.
That's the
So it's like an indie film.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like. It's so Broadway's so different now.
Yes.
But
yes.
Annie is also a musical that's like bigger, I guess. But I also never thought, I like, even as an 11-year-old, it's interesting that like I had this thought process, but I always thought that the people that the previous Annies like were, felt very theatrical and big to me, and I was like, I'm gonna do like the real Annie, the real version. No,
I'm gonna do the
it's
real.
I'm gonna do the real.
Annie.
Oh no.
No, you don't want to.
No, do it.
Annie, I'm gonna do the real Annie.
That's
I'm
the most
gonna
ridiculous
do the
thing to say ever.
real
The real Annie.
Annie. Real Annie, School of Hard Knocks. Little red hair, little locks, real locks. I got real hair, not a wig. Coming out, got a beer, take a swig. I'm the real Annie. I tell it like it is. If you're whack, I'll kick you in the shins. Real Annie. I don't fuck around. I'm the real Annie. I'm from a crazy part of town.
Hit you with the real Annie. Real Annie. I'ma hit you with the real Annie. The real Annie. I'ma hit you with the real Annie. Real Annie. I'ma hit you with the real Annie. Real Annie.
Yeah, adopted by a billionaire. And I tell him, yo, your wealth should not be there. Distribute that to the poor. Yeah, Annie's a socialist now. Yeah, H-word. And that's what I said. Yeah, come on, divestment, man. You think that you're a hero? Yeah, I bet you convince yourself. Your portfolio is big, but so is your ego head.
Hit you with the real Annie. The real Annie. I'ma hit you with the real Annie.
The real Annie. I'll hit you with the real Annie. The real Annie. I'll hit you with the real Annie.
Real Annie.
The real Annie's coming in. The real Annie's insane. The sun's not coming out, bitch. Here comes the rain. We're getting real with it. Look at all those clouds. And I know I used to be quiet, but now I'm coming loud. I'ma scream. I'ma shout. I'ma leave. Bitch, I'm out. You can't keep me, you know I'm not even an orphan anymore. I gotta leave right now. I'm going to war. Hit you with the real Annie. That's real. I'ma hit you with the real Annie.
SJ,
The real Annie.
please.
I'ma hit you with the real Annie. Real, here she comes. Hit you with the real Annie. Here she comes.
I was the real Annie. I was the real. I was the real Annie. And James Parker and Andrew McCarter. What do they have to say for themselves? I was the real Annie. Me.
Hit you with that was the real Annie.
That was real Annie.
That was the real Annie.
The real Annie.
That was the real Annie.
The real Annie.
That was the real Annie.
The real Annie.
I really do have a child actor disease in the sense that I see cameras in front of me and I keep like having the instinct to like perform do you guys have that
Oh,
as
yeah.
like
Yep.
actors perform? Yeah.
I feel like for me, it's like when I'm like in front of people, I'm like, oh, better
Yeah,
make
it's
them
true.
love me.
No, yeah, that's very real.
So, yeah,
That
it's-
is very real.
Yeah.
That's the real Annie. That's
What
That's the
brought
real
you?
Annie.
What brought you to New York? Was it auditions? Was it?
It was Billy Elliott, the Broadway.
Okay.
So I used to come here for fun with my family, just like traveling.
Yeah.
Because I loved that was my dream. It's wild. I really do. I'm really mind blown looking back at almost like a decade ago now, and comprehending that I even did that. Like it
Yeah.
feels so separated from who I am now that I really do sometimes have moments where I'm like, oh my god, like I was on Broadway. I was on Annie on Broadway, and I was in this movie. Like it's really crazy that all happened, and I'm so lucky for it too, because now, especially like being an adult and trying to like make a living as an actor it's real. And so being a kid who's like, yeah, I booked Annie, like that's crazy and amazing that I managed to pull that off. I don't know, but like I don't know where I was going with that actually. Wait,
Well,
where
it's
was I
an
going with that?
amazing- it's
Wait,
just
it
an-
was
yeah.
that. But what was I? Oh, God,
Was
this
it a
happens to me lot, too.
national
I always
like
forget.
call when you got Billy
Oh,
Elliott?
that's where I was going with that. Is that I am from California,
Okay.
but from a really young age, it was my dream to be on Broadway. I love theater. I love musical theater. I was like obsessed with Sutton Foster. I kind of stalked her, which is so bad. No, you guys are like, yeah, you
that's
stalked
okay.
Sutton Foster. No, when I
I
was
dabble
like,
in light stalking.
I
so.
mean, when I was like
Understand.
6 years old, or like 6 to 7 years old, she had
Jazzy
an
Chap?
album. No,
Jazzy Chap?
it was called. She had her solo album called Wish.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just loved her in like. I think I what did I see
What
her in
was
like
it
Shrek? I
called?
was 6, but like.
She's the breakout one.
Oh, Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Thoroughly Modern Millie,
I
yeah.
played.
Oh, yeah.
There's a video of me online singing Thoroughly Modern Millie, a song. I think Not for the Life of Me or something. Because when I was like 8, I was like in a junior production of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I played her. And so I think that was another reason why I was upset. But like whenever her album Wish came out, it was like every time she performed in California, like my mom would take me and I would go, and then I would like wait for her at the stage door and be like, hi. And then I remember like when she was in Anything Goes, again, waited for her at the stage door and I was like, hi, Sutton Foster. Like just loved
The full name. Hi, Sutton
Hi,
Foster.
Sutton Foster.
Does she know who you are?
Yes, and I feel embarrassed because I think she knows, like she kind of knows that I stalked her, and so like so when I was one of the projects that I got to do in my career, it was a kids show for Nickelodeon, and it was called Sunny Day. It's for preschool, like 2 to 4 years old was our age range, and I did that show for quite a while. And Paula, who was she was the executive producer of that show. Created it. She loves Broadway too, and so she loved hiring Broadway actors for that show. And I was a regular cast member along with like Taylor Louderman, who was Regina and Mean Girls. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's
she was
awesome.
she was in that show before she even booked Mean Girls, and then I knew her from like Bring It On and stuff. So I was like, hi,
Yeah.
Taylor, oh my god. But all of the like guest actors that we would have were a lot of Broadway people, and so Sutton Foster did like a character for that show. And I was like, oh my God, Paula, like I was her biggest fan, like as a child. Like I was her 7-year-old biggest fan. And she was like, you have to come when she records. And I was like, but I'm not going to be scheduled for that day, right? And she was like, no, just like come. And I was like, is this weird? And like, it was because I walked in and Sutton Foster was like, oh, hi. Like, because she began to know me from when I did Annie.
From when you stalked her, yeah.
And she was like, no, I swear to God, like from when I stalked her. And because she was like, oh, hi, like, are you here to, she like asked me, she was like, oh, you're here to record? And I was like, no, I'm not. And she was like, oh, okay. And like, then I was just sitting and watching her and I was like, oh my God, this is such a bad idea. This is weird. And then Paula, the best, but I feel like Sutton Foster must think I'm a crazy person because she pulled out her newer CD and was like, Sutton, like, Lilla is your biggest fan. Like, could you sign this for her? And I was like, oh my God, my life is over. Like, Sutton Foster thinks I'm a crazy fan. Like, it's over. And she was like, yeah. And then, like, it was just one awkward thing after another because then, like, she was leaving to go to the elevator at the same time I was. And I swear she probably thought I was, like, following her to the elevator. And was like,
that feeling.
Be honest,
like-
did you cut a lock of her hair? Be honest.
No, but like, and also I think she was like, okay, I'm leaving and going to the bathroom. And while she was going to the bathroom, I swear to God, I wasn't waiting for her, but I like ran into someone and was talking to them. And then when I was done talking to them was when she was coming out of the bathroom. So she probably thought I was waiting for her outside of the bathroom.
Oh
like,
my God.
all that. So anyway, so I was Sutton Foster, but that I do remember where this was going. I did not forget the conversation at the beginning because I always forget. But no, I was huge, obsessed with Broadway. So my mom, my family, we love to come here and see Broadway shows. Like, and when I was younger, and I was very lucky to be born in LA because when I expressed interest in wanting to act and like, Mom, I want to be on TV. Like, LA is it's fruitful, full of many agents and managers to pick from. So I had an agent by that time when I was like 9 years old is when I auditioned for Billy Elliott. And on one of my trips here, and I used to do like theater camps here.
Yeah.
And so
Were
it
you
was
like a French Woods? Were you
I wasn't. But
Rosie's
French
Theater
Woods
Kids?
is a cult. I was not in Rosie's Theater
Okay.
Kids. Not to say that in a bad way. I just mean like people
What
who do French Woods. They love French Woods. Like the
Yeah.
French Woods kids
They are there. They are
like
They all, like,
through
marry
and through
each other
French Woods.
and
Yes.
stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I was never included in
know.
that. No, I was never. No. I was never included in that. I honestly don't remember the name.
You don't
I feel
remember?
bad.
Circle in the Square?
No, it was like it was actually this was also related to Sutton Foster, so that's even worse. I'm making myself
Oh
look
my
terrible.
God, you are
But,
outing
like,
yourself
no,
as
actually,
a
it was
full-blown criminal right now.
For real.
Yeah.
The music director of Thoroughly Modern Millie created a camp. It was his
Okay,
camp. I
okay,
forgot. But it was in the
cool.
city. I don't know. It was at Ripley Greer.
Oh.
I don't remember that much. I
Nice.
would like be bused to Ripley Greer every day. And so after I was here for that camp already, and a part of the camp would be getting to go to a Broadway show. Like we would all get to see one.
Yeah.
And that year we saw Billy Elliott, which is so random.
Cool.
And not random because I guess it was very popular, but that was just like my dream was to be on Broadway. And so my mom being the goat.
The best.
The
She should be
goat.
here. We're
No, I
going to
know,
do
for-
another one with her.
She would say that she's too shy. She would be
Oh,
like,
really?
I'm shy. Yeah, no, she wouldn't. She doesn't like being on like camera and like I'm the opposite. I don't know where I got it from. She does not like
That's so funny.
performing, like being on camera, like saying things in public.
Is your father extroverted or your grandparents extroverted?
Yeah, where did I get this from? That's scary. That's scary. That's a thinker.
We'll get
My
back to
uncle is
that.
a comedian,
Oh,
which is
okay.
cool. Yeah, he does stand up, and he just graduated from grad school for acting.
Oh.
So yeah, we're both in the grind together.
Look
Me and
at
my
that.
uncle. No.
Okay, so you're at this
but
summer
anyways,
camp, yeah. They
So,
bus you to Billy
They
Elliott.
bust us, and so that it was just love Broadway, and so my mom contacted like my agent, just being like, she wants to do theater so much because in LA is such a I'm going so all over the place, but have you guys talked about Quiet on Set yet on this podcast? Is that too dark?
No, we haven't talked
don't
about
think
it.
so.
I've only watched one
That
episode.
Blew
Haven't
my
seen it
mind.
yet,
I
but I'm
mean,
still
have
interested.
you really only watched one episode?
I watched the first episode.
you're not
My
even,
girlfriend
like-
was like, I can't do this. And I was
yeah,
like,
it's pretty intense, but yeah, you're not even like scratching the surface.
Yeah,
if you've
it gets wild.
It gets really wild, and so that I think depicted the LA child acting world really. I never experienced something that traumatic, and so me saying like that represents the LA acting world, great, is like maybe not fair because that definitely wasn't everyone's experience. But I just mean like the LA child acting world was all about Nickelodeon and Disney. Dan Schneider was king. Like everyone wanted to be on a Dan Schneider show. Like I auditioned for a ton of his shows all the time. Like so my agents that were based in LA I think the career and the vision that they saw for me was like that trajectory of like, okay, so she'll be on like a Disney show or she'll be on like a sitcom and then she'll do movies. And I think they were seeing like a very Hollywood career for me, but that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to do theater. And I don't think they really understood that. But there was a assistant at the time named Mark. Shout out. Hi, camera.
Shout out,
I
Mark.
can't stop looking at it. I'm sorry, camera.
She's a star. She can't stop playing to the camera.
Right? But he just as a hobby loved theater as well. And we would always see him. My mom and I would always see him when we would see shows like at the Pantages. If anyone listening to this lives in LA, you know the Pantages.
Absolutely, yes.
Amundsen. Yeah.
Adam's from LA.
Are you really?
It's true.
I didn't know. So am I. So am I. And so that's where I would see all of my theater. And so I think my mom, like really smart, just kind of knew that this assistant at the agent, he wasn't an assistant at the time, loved theater. And so seriously, just called him and was like, listen, we're in New York. Like she loves theater so much. Like, is there anything here? Like, is there any audition, anything that like she can go, just as any musical hiring? And he got me a general meeting with the casting director of Billy Elliott, which I can't give a proper shout out to because I'm forgetting her name, which is annoying, but she's a really iconic. She cast Matilda too. She cast all the like British transfers.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
She cast all the
I know who you're talking about. She also did School of Rock.
What was her name? Deborah? No.
No.
Oh my God.
Shout out.
Shout out. I really should be.
Ask ChatGPT. You think it'll know?
For real.
You-
I'm
do you want
embarrassed
me
that
to?
I'm.
You think it'll know?
Yeah, we got phones.
Let's test.
Let's see.
Test.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT.
Because I really am. I have heard a thing for basically giving me my first job of my like career. I used to do a lot of commercials when I was an LA child actor, but she really like.
Who is the
Did the thing for me.
Broadway casting director who does a lot of British trans?
Oh,
That's
you're not even gonna
fascinating. I
name
wonder
the
if it'll
plays.
know. Yeah.
You're just gonna.
Because if you
If
said
it was
like
Google, you name
Matilda
it.
or
This
Billy
is
Elliott.
ChatGPT.
Tara Rubin.
Wait, that's scary.
It did it.
Oh
yeah, that's my
AI is
mommy.
upon us. AI
She's
is upon
awesome, by
us.
the way.
AI is upon us. I mean, great. So I went in for a general meeting. I don't think that there was an open role, but that kind of show I think was when a show is such like a staple and it's been on Broadway for so many years. I think they just have they just audition all the time.
Sure.
So like look for anyone. Well, also that show is a whole different ballgame because they have camps. Do you know about like Billy Camp? If you guys are familiar. So Billy Elliott, with people who aren't familiar, it's a show about a kid who wants to do ballet. There was a really good joke about it on Modern Family. It's a great joke about because it's just about a kid who wants to do ballet. It's a huge cast of kids, and they had this thing where maybe if they saw a kid had a lot of potential to be Billy. That role was so demanding because you have to sing, act, you have to tap dance, you have to be a ballerina, you have to do acrobatics, which is crazy. They do like backflips and like
Insane.
They like they're like harnessed at one point and like they fly into the air and like spin around in the air. Like there's like gymnastics involved. There's so much that they do in that show that maybe if a kid isn't like ready but has potential, they literally just go to like camp called Billy Camp, and you don't have the role yet. I don't even know if they get paid to do this. I hope they did. Like that would be insane if they didn't get paid. But like they just train you like for months and months. And sometimes kids would be in Billy Camp for like a year or something. Like and then one thing that they would do is there was a role in the show that only had a few lines and he didn't dance at all. That was for like a young boy. So the kid who had that role was training in Billy Camp. So they were like, okay, we'll give you this role in the show, but you're not ready to be Billy, so we're still training you. And then they would have to work their way up. Like,
my God.
People would work their way up in the ranks of the roles to eventually become a Billy. Like,
Wow.
it was a crazy system, yeah. So the girls, though, the girl roles, and we didn't have anything like that. There was no camps for us, I guess. So there was no camp for us. But
Sally Camp.
Yeah,
Sally
really. But so I don't know. So I don't think there was a role open. But she saw me. She auditioned me, and I whatever I did for her, and then like this is another lesson in acting patience, because sometimes you'll go in for something and like you don't hear back and it's just like another failure. Sometimes you hear back, because 6 months, because that was in the summer.
Yeah.
I went in and saw her in the summer, and then they were like, hey, thanks, bye. In like December of that year, they called and were like, can she come in for Debbie? That was the role that I played. Debbie was the ballet teacher's daughter. She was the only ballet girl. That's what they would call us. She was the only ballet girl with like a significant speaking role, and I say that because dancing was never my strong suit, and I was not the best dancer. And the girls that were the ballet girl ensemble were like, they had like dance competition background, like they were like dancers, and I had a lot of acting experience. So I really think by the skin of my teeth I got that role just because I like had the acting chops, but I had to work really hard to be able to dance at the level that show requires. And I was like a ballerina for a year, because I did that show for like a year, and then I closed it out. The show closed when I was in that. So that's how I got to New York. That's how I got into theater. I think about, that's another thing I think about a lot, is like all of these movies coming out about like alternate universes, like the metaverse. Like my alternate universe is if this is my like alternate child acting career universe, is if I never like made that move to New York, if I never went in for Billy Elliott, if I never did that Broadway show, like would I have been on Disney Channel? Like would I have been on Nickelodeon? That was stupid. That's my metaverse. That's my alternate universe.
What would have happened if you would have stayed in LA?
What would have happened? Because I think my age, I didn't know this at the time, obviously, because I was a little person, but a little child. But my mom later told me, my mom was like, yeah, your agents like didn't even want you to do it. Because then when I booked the role, when I booked the Billy Elliott role, they were like you should say no to this, because at that time I was getting really close to like so much stuff in LA. And I think my agents were convinced, like, if you say no to that, and if you stay in LA and you're going out for like series regulars and whatever, like you're gonna get something big. And so my career maybe would have been a whole lot different. I might have never like done musicals, but I didn't want, like, that was my dream. I had to do musicals.
Yeah.
That had to be a part of my story, because I just like, I was like, it was to the extent that I refused to listen to any other type of music except for Broadway music. And when kids my age would be like, have you listened to the new like Justin Bieber album? Like I would be like, these scoundrels, like they don't know culture. Like they really just don't have taste. Like they're not listening to, like, what was I obsessed? I mean, like
have you heard the Fun Home soundtrack?
no, literally. No, Fun Home. I love Fun Home, and like no, I love Fun Home. But that was when I was like a little
54
older,
below, you mean?
Yeah, right. Literally, like so I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So then I just stayed out here. I went back to LA like briefly, and then when I booked Annie, I came back here. And so then I think my mom was just like, we're staying here.
We're staying.
And then here I am.
Wow.
And then you were in like the biggest, like, let's hear it for Lilla. Let's hear it for Lilla.
Cheers. You then became the iconic Lilla Crawford of the stage, and screen.
Yeah, you were with like the biggest stars in Into the Woods, like to catapult and to get to do that. It's so cool.
Crazy.
I fell out of my chair. I just watched it recently. I fell out of my chair when you popped up on the screen.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know you were in it.
Really?
We had our conversation. And I didn't know. You were like, I was in Annie when we were DMing, but I didn't know you had been on screen with Meryl Streep.
Gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait, was that before we did Shirley Temple Improv Show? When you
I watched it because I was in this comedian sing Sondheim show, and I was studying because I was doing It Takes Two in the show.
That's such a good song for you. Wait, you should be the baker. Have you been the baker before?
I haven't done the baker.
You should be
Hey,
the
Tara
baker.
Rubin, put me in.
Shout out.
Yeah, but I like fell out of my chair when you were like, nice is different than good. I was just like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
It sure is, Lilla.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Wise.
that was.
She's young, but she's mature for her age.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was a whirlwind. I think like when I look back, when I reflect on Annie, I get very much like it was such a different, those two experiences were so different. Into the Woods was just, it felt like La La Dreamland for 3 months. I think we only shot for like 3.5 months. And it was just like,
I did the dailies for that movie. So
really?
when you guys shot, I worked at the post-production house that like got the raw footage. So I probably watched like raw footage of you. This is in 2013. When did that movie come out?
I
No,
didn't know
2014.
that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I was telling them before you got here.
Yeah.
That's why we're not reacting.
I'm glad you got it in.
I'll squeeze it in. I'll squeeze it in.
Oh, here we go. There's a story.
Oh, wait. And you did it from New York?
Yeah. So
Because we shot it in London.
yeah, I think they
Yeah.
sent us the deal. We did like the color and the digital intermediate editing and stuff. And so Meryl
Here we go.
Streep, Miss Streep herself, came to our office to screen it for the first time. And when she came, she wanted orange juice. And
Meryl.
and
Just, yeah.
my friend Jess and coworker at the time, she worked in client services. So Meryl asked Jess if we had any orange juice, and Jess was like, "Yeah, we absolutely have orange juice." And Jess went to the kitchen and opened the fridge, and the only orange juice in there was my little thing of orange juice, my personal bottle.
And you gave her your personal bottle.
And Jess texted
Did you
me.
drink it already?
I had a few sips.
Oh my God.
in a glass.
You
I poured
didn't
it in
say
a
it was
glass.
open. You didn't say
I was
that
saving
Meryl
it for the
Streep.
pod. I was saving it for
Wow.
It was like a personal like orange juice. I had like a couple sips. It was in the fridge, and then Jess was in a panic, and she literally texts me and goes, "Can I give Meryl Streep your orange juice?" And I told them I was like, "I'm never deleting that text." I probably did delete it, but I have that text. So I actually might have that text somewhere.
But did you drink it from the like rim, or was it like,
like
a
a
pourable?
straw?
I probably had poured it into a cup.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
I probably-
So
saw
you
it.
didn't swap fluids
I don't
with
think
Meryl Streep.
I don't think I would have
Wow.
had a drink out of the bottle and then said give it to her. Like my guess is
Okay,
that I
that's what
had
I
had
thought.
some in a cup, and then
Oh, well,
like the rest of it was mine. But I was like,
Wow.
yes, you can give Meryl Streep my orange juice, and so
That's hilarious.
my story,
Oh my
but-
gosh.
anyway.
Squeeze it
that's so-
in.
Do you get it now? Do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I freshly squeezed it in. Thank you. Fresh squeeze story.
So,
from
you know,
Mel.
you acted with her in a feature film, but Mel, shared her orange
Yeah.
juice.
So listen, it's not a competition.
It's kind of the same thing. Like,
kind of the same
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's so
Amazing.
funny. That's such a small world. Like,
Yeah.
small world moments are this business. Like, this city is
Yep.
small. Like,
Yes.
everyone's connected.
Yeah, we probably
Seriously.
met Meryl
At some point,
without
Yeah,
even
what are your
realizing
guys'
it.
Yeah.
Man.
What are your guys' Meryl stories?
my
Yeah.
Meryl story is that I have a lot of friends with Meryl stories. I don't have one. I just heard she is very like serious when ordering at a restaurant. It's very
Really?
like, I'll have a Hendrix on the rocks. Like it's like, yeah, that's her
yeah.
energy. Yeah.
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 Her
my-
energy is so like was so regal, just so like it's cool because she never was like diva, like hard to work with. It wasn't that, but you just like you were in the presence of Meryl Streep, like just like because when she would perform, like I remember like we did a lot of rehearsals. I actually because back when I said at the beginning of this podcast, I joined the podcast. Yes, Into the Woods was a podcast. No, I joined the movie later than everyone else, and so they had all been rehearsing for I think a bit.
Yeah.
And I only had like a week of rehearsals, but we had like a new 42 rehearsal. Like it was like a rehearsal room with like tape on the floor. Like we were rehearsing it for like a stage production.
Oh,
we
here.
like rehearsed in London.
Oh, sorry.
You know they almost filmed it here though. They told me that once. They almost filmed it in New York.
Wow.
That would have been
Oh,
cool.
wow.
But
That would have been cool.
Sorry, you said new
But,
42. That's why. I meant.
no,
Yeah.
I just mean
Yeah.
because it felt like we were.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I almost said James Charles. No, James Corden. James Corden would always joke like doing press that it felt like we were doing like a summer stock production of Into the Woods for like a month because we were just rehearsing it like in this room, like theater. But I only did that for a week, but they were rushing to rehearse a lot of things with me because I was new. So Meryl came in and we were gonna rehearse last midnight, and Rob was like, "Meryl, you can mark it," and she was like, "Okay," but then she fully. I don't know if that was marking it. Like, if that was marking it, like, her talent is indescribable because I couldn't stay in character. I was never in character when she was, like, performing. No, like, fully when we were shooting that and she was performing last midnight, I was just like, we all were. It's just, like, such a thing to watch in person. And then also, yeah, like, her vibe in person is, like, she's so smart and it's like she's just like a regal figure.
Yeah.
Just like a hi, how are you? And you're just like, oh my God, like I can't believe it's Meryl Streep. But also very cool, down to earth. We would talk a lot about she was like down to talk about theater with me because that was like what I was into. And also so random is I didn't really do a ton of press for that movie, but one of the things they had me do after the movie came out was go to Japan for the Japan premiere of Into the Woods. Was that? It was
Gosh, do the good press.
crazy. Yeah, that was I was
Doing
like, I
the
could
good
not.
press in Japan. Yep, we're doing the good press in Japan. Yep, we're doing the good press in Japan. Yep, in Japan. Yep, in Japan. Yep. Okay, come over and talk to me. I got a cameraman over here and some sushi. We're gonna do that good press. Gonna do that good press. I am gonna impress them with my red dress, 'cause I played Little Red in that little tiny film. And you wanna ask me a question? I'll answer. I will. Yes, we'll do that good press and talk all about me. And you know you wanna have some of my sushi. I'm doing all the good press. Good press. I'm doing all the good press. Good press. I'm doing all the good press in Japan. Doing all the good press in Japan.
Good press, you know we're not stalling. I'm getting on that press and immediately getting some ramen. It's gonna be so good. Sake, I'm feeling saucy. And then I'm going to a 20-course omakase. But first I'm talking to the press. Hello, hello. I bow very deeply with respect, you know, because that culture is very reverential. And when I'm in that movie, Lilla is presidential.
Because we're doing all the good press in Japan. We're doing all that good press in Japan. Doing all that good press in Japan. Doing all that good press in Japan.
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch this movie under the beautiful scenery of Mount Fuji. Wow, we can go so far and watch it unravel after we spend all that time as we travel. Oh my God, and then we'll get some sushi. Yeah, the thing that we think about when we think of Japan is immediately sushi, because we are not as familiar. It's a rich culture, and I'm sorry.
Cherry blossoms in Japan. Sumo wrestling in Japan.
Real life Mario Kart in Japan.
Oh, the Studio Ghibli theme park
In Japan.
The press in Japan. It was pretty cool, and I can say that Japan was awesome. I did a lot of things. I did a lot of cool things in Japan, because what do I even say about Japan? Well, I could say a lot that isn't really good to talk about because it has to do with American history. But did you guys see Oppenheimer?
Yes, we did.
In Japan.
It was really sad.
About Japan. But it was really sad that in Japan, Oppenheimer, well, but it won the Oscar.
Doing all the good press in Japan. Doing all the good press in Japan. Doing all the good press in Japan. Doing all the good press in Japan.
Lilla Crawford.
I think that wrapped us with some of my best improv yet.
Yes, for sure.
100%.
I'm thinking that was the year you probably got airline status. They probably flew you all over the globe, right?
That was. I mean, I know. I wish I could say that I did a whole tour, but I didn't do a ton of press for that movie. But that was the one thing they had me do. Was they had me do the Japan. But the reason why I brought it up was because the only cast members for that Japanese premiere were me. I think the reason why they invited me was because the actress who did my Japanese dub for that movie is super famous. She passed away recently. It's very sad, but she was a sweetheart. I think that they thought it was cool to have us doing it together. So the two of us, did a ton of that press together. And then it was Meryl Streep with me.
Oh my God, you
so
and
it was
Meryl Streep
just
in
me.
Japan.
We did a press conference in front of, it was one of those press conferences, a huge hotel room with it had to have been 100. Maybe I'm remembering this as a child, so it felt like 100, but it felt like 100 journalists and photographers and press people in that room, and it was just me and Meryl at a table. It was so
wow.
And we did a 30-minute press conference together. It was, and I cherish this forever, and it's still on YouTube. And shamefully, I have. It would, I think, be more insane if I was I watch it every day or watch it every week. I've watched it maybe twice or 3 times since, but in that press conference, they were Meryl, do you have any advice for Lilla or anything that you want to say to her? Mm-hmm. And so on record, on video, she just said a lot of really nice things, and that's at least I have that.
Wow.
You guys, at least I have
Wow.
that.
At least I have that.
At least I have that.
Lilla,
But
it's been an absolute joy having you in the studio.
So fun.
yeah,
You're gonna have to come back, and you're gonna have to bring your mom.
Oh my gosh! I'll have to ask her what she thinks about that. She might think it's fun. No, she would love to be audience. She loves.
She would love to be audience. Okay, great.
She would love to be, and she would love to see you again.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
I'm sure she would love to see you again.
Well, you can tell your mom to come to our show on June 6th at Caveat NYC.
Oh my God! No, I think I'm gonna come to it.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Come. It'll be so fun.
I'll see you guys there in the audience. I can't wait to watch you guys.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
you can go up and pretend that she's Sutton Foster, and you can be like, "Hi, Lilla."
Oh my God!
Follow her to the elevator.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to the North Coast podcast. Don't forget to rate and review, or if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. See you.
Bye.